As Tehran's axis applies pressure from Gaza to Lebanon and beyond, questions are growing over whether the IDF is beginning to lose tactical control under the strain of multi-front conflict. With Hamas in Gaza, Hezbollah on the northern border, and Iranian missiles in the background, doubts are mounting over whether the IDF is truly prepared to fight all three threats at once. Even as Israel ramps up strikes on Hezbollah and openly eyes a future clash with Iran, its own units in Gaza are struggling with basic battlefield identification between friend and foe. In one tragic example, an IDF soldier was mistaken for Hamas terrorist in the chaos of combat and gunned down by his own comrades during a nighttime raid. As Netanyahu pushes hard for options to bomb Iran's nuclear program, young Israeli troops are still dying in Gaza. Amid heightened US-Iran tensions, Tehran-aligned proxies continue to bleed Israeli forces along Gaza's edge, keeping the IDF tied down even as the strategic spotlight shifts to Iran. On February 18th, the IDF announced that a paratrooper had been killed by friendly fire during night operations in the Khan Yunis area of southern Gaza. The victim, Staff SGT Ofri Yaif, 21, was mistakenly identified as a hostile threat while operating close to the border-adjacent Yellow Line zone. According to initial IDF findings, small arms fire struck Yaif as paratrooper teams were demolishing or clearing structures in eastern Khan Yunis during a complex nighttime scan. Yaif became the fifth Israeli soldier reported killed in Gaza since the October 2025 ceasefire, underscoring how deadly post-ceasefire mop-up operations remain. Reports note that paratrooper reconnaissance units had only deployed to that sector about a week before the incident, with limited time to fully map friendly positions and patterns. Not only in Gaza but also in Lebanon, the IDF has stepped up strikes against Hezbollah positions in recent weeks, trying to blunt cross-border fire and infrastructure rebuilding. These strikes have reportedly targeted Hezbollah operatives, rocket launchers, and weapon sites, aiming to disrupt both current attacks and future force buildup. Israeli reports say that since the start of February, about a dozen Hezbollah and allied jihad operatives have been killed in these focused raids and drone strikes. The IDF says its 91st Division alone has killed 4 Hezbollah men engaged in efforts to restore military infrastructure and links along the Lebanese front. A recent strike in Talisair marked the second Hezbollah target hit within 12 hours, illustrating the tempo of IDF action along the northern border. These Israeli blows against Iran-backed Hezbollah come as tensions between Washington and Tehran simmer, tying the Lebanese front into a much larger confrontation. All of this is unfolding amid reports that Donald Trump has privately signaled his backing for Israeli strikes on Iran if the latest nuclear talks fail to deliver a deal. According to a CBS report, that message was delivered directly to Netanyahu during a private discussion at the end of last year, giving Jerusalem a clearer sense of US support. Trump has publicly warned that Iran must reach a nuclear deal or face traumatic consequences, pairing diplomacy with the explicit threat of escalation. However, on February 15th, Netanyahu said he remains skeptical of any deal with Iran, insisting that Tehran's track record makes trust almost impossible.
I will not hide from you that I express my skepticism of any deal with Iran because, frankly, Iran is reliable on one thing. They lie and they cheat. But I said that if a deal is to be reached, it should have several components that we believe are important not only for the security of Israel, but for the security of the world.
These battlefield and political moves come just after the US and Iran held a second round of nuclear talks in Geneva on February 17th, under an atmosphere of heightened tension. Iranian Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi said both sides now agree on a set of main principles, but acknowledged that important gaps and disagreements still remain. He hailed what he called a new window of opportunity, arguing that a sustainable negotiated deal could serve not only Iran and the US but the wider region's stability as well. Yet Araghchi also warned that Iran remains fully prepared to defend itself against any act of aggression, stressing that any attack's consequences would not be confined to Iranian territory alone.